So the first thing I'm just going to ask is, is this your first time up at Newport? So if you can start with that and tell us a little bit about what the Newport experience means to you so far.
Great. Well, this is our very first time in Newport, and I've always wanted to play here for years, and we're finally here. And we haven't performed yet, but the experience that I have being here, actually, when we drove up, Branford Marsalis was playing, Diana Krall's on stage now, and so this is definitely the place to be today. So we're glad to be a part of the roster of artists performing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very cool. How did you two come to team up? A singer and a sax player playing together. That's on tour together, doing your act together. It's not your typical way of performers working together. How did this come about?
Gerald and I hooked up when I saw him. I was driving down the freeway and I saw a guy holding a sign saying, "We'll work for food." Right. And
I was hungry. I was real hungry.
No, Gerald and I have been touring together and working together for the last, I'd say, 7 or 8 years. And like when you get on the bus and you always talk about things you're going to do together as far as writing or touring or whatever. And we have been saying that for the last 7 or 8 years.
Exactly.
So last year we decided to really make it a reality, and I went to my record company and said, "Listen, are you interested in a duet album?" And I said, my partner Gerald Albright and I would like to do an album for the label. And we came up with Pleasures of the Night.
And the record company actually cooperated and said yes.
Yes. The record company cooperated.
And relatively quickly, yeah.
And then I woke up. No harm. Send a check to my house, please.
He's going to be all right. He's all right.
What kind of reaction have you been getting from the fans on this tour together?
Great reactions. Since we've been on tour, I guess we started our tour in February of this year, and off and on we've been touring, doing a lot of weekends, a lot of major festivals. And the audiences have just been so receptive, and it allows us to just kind of relax and give the audience what they want to hear. So we've had some great shows, and there's a lot of camaraderie between Will and I on stage, and then the other band members and vocalists, and one big happy family.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the band. In fact, you had a singer who had a broken foot or something, right, when I saw her.
Yeah, she sprained her Achilles tendon.
Yeah, the last time you saw the show, she was trying to play racquetball on a day that we had off, and she popped her Achilles tendon, but hey, the show goes on, and she came on and she performed, and I had to joke her about it because we always don't do anything like that. Tell the musicians, don't play ball so you jam your fingers or anything crazy like that. And I neglected to tell the singers, and this is what happened. So for those of you who sing out there, please be careful.
Racquetball and vocals do not mix.
They don't go together.
And is she with us today?
She's here. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your band and your singers.
Well,
wow.
Yeah.
Is there a musical director? I think there is. Isn't there somebody who...
Chris Davis is our musical director, and he put a fine band of musicians together from actually all over the United States. We have a couple of musicians from Atlanta, and most of the band is East Coast based.
East Coast, right.
Pretty much.
The vocalist from the West Coast, Bridget Bryant.
Bridget Bryant, yeah.
Armstead Christian, who's been with me for the last 10 years or so. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He also has a solo CD of his own out. We have a lot of soloists in the band. Bob Baldwin, who's, I forgot what label he's with, but he's a solo artist, and he's our second keyboard player. And so it's a very good band.
That's good. How do you choose the repertoire that you're going to do together and sort of balance the time on stage between the two of you?
Well, actually, between the two of us, we have about 16 CDs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to go from complete projects down to an hour and a half show. But what we try to do is do, of course, the love songs that both he and I have put out on various records. And then Will has actually been featured on some of my records, and I've been featured on some of his solo records. So, it makes it easy to have a well-rounded song selection. But we're really pushing the Pleasures of the project, which is doing very, very well. And we thank you for your support.
That's good. Sometimes there's a little rivalry between singers and instrumentalists. And, Does that play into this mix between the two of you at all?
Rivalry?
I get the most time on stage, actually.
He's pretty accurate. You know, that was going to be my answer for the show. You know, basically, Gerald tells me what he wants to do, and then whatever's left over.
Tell him the truth. Yeah, you're right.
I do my thing. You know, so when I have my 5 minutes, I try to kick his butt out there.
And he does. He really does.
No, we play off each other well. I mean, the things that I may be thinking, he plays, or he may play something, and I may go.
And you'll feed off it.
I'll try to feed off it or try to do it. It's we're just out there copying one another and just challenging one another all the time. But it's always in a friendly way, and it's always in a very musical way. Not only to us, but also to the audience as well. We try to incorporate them into the show. Put them to work. They ain't pay that much money to come see the show, so y'all can work too. But it all adds to the show. We all have a good time out there.
Absolutely.
You guys wear some pretty fine threads on stage. Is that how you dress all the time?
Well, look at us now.
Yeah, this is, in fact, I wish I had changed the camera. No, actually, I love to dress, but when I'm off stage, I love to be relaxed. I mean, I'm the first one to jump in a sweatsuit or some shorts and some sneakers or something like that. So it's kind of that alter ego kind of thing.
Now this is a Gerald Albright hand-me-down suit. I couldn't afford a long pair of pants.
You should have told him.
And it happens to be a little chilly out here today, so Gerald lent me a pair of pants, and that's just the kind of person that he is. And
I got your back, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you. Man.
You guys attract a lot of ladies to your show.
No, we don't. We don't attract any ladies to the show.
No ladies at all, no.
For my lady who's watching the show, they're not interested at all. They're
Not a
here
one.
strictly for the music.
Absolutely.
It's inspired. Music. Watch your questions.
Yeah, next question.
Man, did she send you down here?
Where are you guys off to next?
Well, let's see. We're going to do a West Coast run.
Right.
We're going to Northern California first. We're going to take about a week or two off and go to Northern California, and then we're doing the Hollywood Bowl at the JVC Jazz Festival on the 29th of August, and then San Diego on the 30th.
All right.
And
We had about 4 or 5 dates out there, so we'll be hitting the San Francisco area, San Diego, LA. I think we have 2 or 3 dates in and around the LA area. So
we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then we're back out on the road in October.
Now, this album and this tour have done so well. Are we going to see you guys teaming up more on future projects?
Absolutely. We've had countless discussions about that, and there definitely will be a sequel to the duet record. We haven't gotten into the planning stages of it yet, but we're very excited about doing round 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Round 2 meaning, no, I get this song. No, you get that song.
No. That's the joy of the whole project is that, we both had songs that we've been wanting to record over the years. I mean, the album is pretty much a culmination of kind of contemporary jazz and some traditional things.
Exactly.
We kind of started out wanting to do like a Hartman Coltrane sort of an album, but we're both pretty much known for our contemporary work, so we decided to kind of sprinkle a little bit of that in there so we wouldn't turn our audience, the audience that we have, off. And, we just kind of incorporated new stuff, so we're introducing them, to this kind of music as well. So I think we have a nice, marriage, not only musically, but, just in general. Our friendship is that way as well. So you feel that in the music.
And then that's an interesting comment. Are you planning to incorporate, you mentioned the Hartman Coltrane kind of direction, which is, different than what you folks are known for. Is that something that you're kind of leaning toward doing more of, or just introducing the audience little by little, or what?
I mean, I would say little by little.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's a big departure for me, being that I'm primarily known as an R&B artist that does slightly contemporary jazz stuff, and then to go straight to the traditional. I mean, I don't know how much I would, turn my audience off and or on. So I don't want to take that chance. So I just kind of sprinkle it in a little bit.
And I think basically we're just going to do what feels good. If it feels...
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
See, that's why he's a leader. I said all that, and he just said it just feels good. That's right.
Exactly.
If it
feels good, that's what we do. That's what we did with the first project. He had a master list of tunes that he felt like would be great for the project, and I had my master list, and we kind of came together and said, this is a nice flow, and we went in to record. So it was very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Okay. You guys have already given me a lot of good stuff that shows, your togetherness and the camaraderie, which is really fun, which people are going to enjoy. Is there anything else that's important to you, or that you like to, any points that you like to get across about music or its influence on you, or how it can help kids, with education or any of those kinds of things that come up when you folks like to talk, when you fellas talk about?
That's a good question.
Man, that's like a low. That could take 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got enough film?
When I end each interview, I like to just open it up a little bit and see. Sometimes people have something on their mind that they wished I'd asked, and I don't know that, and so I just mention if there's things like that. People like to get across a positive message sometimes.
Well, I think personally for me, the thing that really keeps me going as an artist is the fact that we get a lot of positive response from the people as we travel, and all ages, all different demographics. I get a lot of email, where people from all over the world saying, "Man, I got the duet record and it's slamming, it's great." Or they may comment about Will, and I'll forward that message to Will, and Will will forward some messages that he gets to me, and it's a wonderful thing to have that type of support in a global sense, and for those youngsters who are coming up and wanting to do what Will and I are doing, I would say basically be the most unique person that you can be. Find your sound, whatever that might be, and there's a slew of influences out there of instrumentalists and vocalists to pattern after or take bits and pieces from and form your own vibe, your own sound.
Ditto. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Look at me. That's why he does all the talking, and I just say. No, this is something I've wanted to do my whole life, and it's a pleasure and a blessing to be able to do it, and I've been able to do this and support my family and myself for many, many years. Mm-hmm. I've also had the pleasure of working with recording artists that I've always wanted to work with, and Gerald being one of them. Not saying that he's considerably older than I am and I grew up listening to his music. There's a respect factor that you have to consider, and as I listen to music and you hear musicians and you say, man, I love to play with him, I love to work with him, I love him to produce me, I love to sing with her, I like to play with whatever, and it's been a dream come true. So if you have a dream, follow it. Mine came true. This is Gerald Albright, and I'm Will Downing, and there you go.
See you later.
Great, thank you, Will. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much.
All right.
Gerald, thank
My pleasure,
you too.
Steve. Thank you.
I don't want to hold that for you.
Oh, okay. See, I almost forgot all about it.
Diana Krall's on stage now, and so this is definitely the place to be today. So we're glad to be a part of the roster of artists performing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very good. Will, how did you two come to team up? A singer and a sax player playing together. That's on tour together, doing your act together. It's not your typical way of performers working together. How did this come about?
Gerald and I hooked up when I saw him out.
So the first thing I'm just going to ask is, is this your first time up at Newport? So if you can start with that and tell us a little bit about what the Newport experience means to you so far.
Great.
Well, this is our very first time in Newport, and I've always wanted to play here for years, and we're finally here. And we haven't performed yet, but the experience that I have being here, actually, when we drove up, Branford Marcellus was playing.
And I went to my record company and said, listen, are you interested in a duet album? And I said, my partner Gerald Albright and I would like to do an album for the label. And we came up with Pleasures of the Night.
And the record company actually cooperated and said yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
The record company cooperated.
And relatively quickly, yeah.
And then I woke up.
Out great.
No harm. Send a check to my house, please.
He's going to be all right. He's all right.
What kind of reaction have you been getting from the fans on this tour together?
Great reactions. Since we've been on tour, I guess we started our tour in February of this year, and off and on we've been touring, doing a lot of weekends, a lot of major festivals. And the audiences have just been so receptive, and it allows us to just kind of relax and give the audience what they want to hear.
I was driving down the freeway and I saw a guy holding a sign saying, we'll work for food.
Right.
And
I was hungry. I was real hungry.
No, Gerald and I have been touring together and working together for the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years. And like when you get on the bus and you always talk about things you're going to do together as far as writing or touring or whatever. And we have been saying that for the last 7 or 8 years.
Exactly.
So last year we decided to really make it a reality.